And the survival tool that I'm going to suggest is the asanas. So this is the traditional yoga postures. Out of the 8 limbs of yoga, I've talked about this. There's 8 different parts of yoga. It's not just the asanas, but today we're going to cover it. This week we are covering limb 3, which is the physical postures. Deliberate placement of the body in grounded, intentional shapes. And asana is not about being flexible or exercise. The 8 limbs of yoga means being a posture is both steady and comfortable and stable and grounding shape that the body can hold without strain.
Why asana specifically for this week?
Well, because the Mercury goes direct, everything that has been still is about to start moving. Let's hope that. So if you're feeling stuck, that's going to start moving. And the body needs to be grounded before the mind starts to go forward. So asana and using physical movement will help us anchor that post-retrograde energy. Ground first and then start to move. So we are going to definitely feel, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are going to feel the urge to immediately catch up on everything that they felt was stuck or stalled. So that energy is going to be very prevalent as we go through the week. Exactly. The nervous system. Sorry, go ahead.
That's like literally the last. Anyway, go ahead. I'm
well,
distracted.
You know what? As I've said, these energies might affect us a little bit more before. Sometimes it'll affect us after. Who you are in your personal alignments, it's going to affect, but you will definitely feel like you're ready to catch up. So that's going to have this urgency energy. And then our nervous system is going to spike, where the movements, the asana interrupts that spike before it becomes reactive urgency. So the sun entering Leo also wants to be seen. So the asanas, these postures, are for you to ground through your body to sustain. Can you ground through your body enough to sustain the visibility? And Saturn is also stationed in the retrograde this week, asking for disciplined and measured actions. And asanas is a physical version of that same discipline. So what I'm recommending is 3 poses once a day. Very simple. Doesn't matter where you're at. You can do these, especially the first one. The first one is super adaptable. You can do all of them seated as well. I've taught seated yoga. You can go, I've got yoga videos. You can go watch them there, but we're going to go over the 3 poses that I'm going to recommend that you do each day in the morning this week, before you check your phone, before you respond to messages, and before you decide to go and take or make any decisions. So we're going to jump into the first pose. Super simple pose. This is the traditional starting pose. This is our Tadasana mountain pose. It is this. We're going to do the seated version tonight. So I'm going to walk you through it. But when you do Tadasana, it's so simple. It's so basic. All you're doing is standing tall. You bring your shoulders up to your ears. You roll them back. So you've got that beautiful aligned spine. You activate the core, belly button to spine, pull up on your pelvis. You spread your toes wide. You put your hands towards the ground and you stand and you take a few deep breaths. That is all you need to do. It's just getting yourself grounded. And if you can do it outside, that's even better. Get the currency from the earth. Get yourself grounded energetically. But tonight we're going to do seated, since we're seated and everybody probably watching might be seated. So I want you to sit tall. Now, if you're in a chair, plant your feet on the ground. You're going to sit up tall. I want you to do it too, Mike. Are you getting yourself in position? So bring those shoulders up towards the ears, roll them back. Chin is level. You're going to lengthen through the torso. So if you're in a chair, make sure that you've got a little bit of space between the back of the chair and your torso. So you don't want to be leaning against the chair. You want to be using your own core muscles. And then you can put your hands onto your thighs if you're sitting. And you can close the eyes. And this is your seated Tadasana. We're going to take 3 deep breaths together. Deep inhale through the nose. Let's exhale through the mouth. Another deep inhale through the nose. Just let it go through the mouth. One more breath. And really exaggerate. Just let everything go with that exhale. Just like all that frustration Anything, just let it go. And that's as simple as it is. So when we do the Tadasana, it's rooted, steady, and present. And it's just grounding yourself. And as I recommend, if you can get outside first thing in the morning, touch the ground, spread your toes, and just stand tall. And especially if you can face the sun and let the sun's energies, that beautiful vitamin D, penetrate your skin. That is one of the most important things we can do is ground outside and get some vitamin D. The other poses that I'm going to recommend to help get through the week is Warrior One. So when you're doing it from your Tadasana, you can do it if you're standing outside. Very simple. Your front knee is bent over your ankle. The back leg extends and strongs. You reach your arm overhead and your chest is open. Gaze forward. When you're in this pose, it asks you, what are you stepping forward in towards? Hold for 3 to 5 breaths and then do the other side. So very simple, very strong. And really think about it. If you think about the idea of being a warrior and in that presence and that mind, that is the best way to go about doing the warrior poses. Is think of yourself as a warrior. You have survived to this point, just past mid 2026. You are a warrior, right? Then from that, the next pose is Warrior Two. So legitimately, it's the same pose, but you come coming from the arms from the sky, you open your arms. So if you've got your right leg forward, your right arm comes forward, your left arm goes behind. So you're just getting into that and extending. And again, tall and elongated through the torso. And this pose asks, what direction are you committed to? And then you hold for 3 to 5 breaths, and then you switch to the other side. So with these 3 poses will take you less than 5 minutes. That is a prescription of the week. Do them before you launch into the post retrograde action. Mercury goes direct on Wednesday. So before you send that email, make that call, launch anything, do that mountain pose, ground the body, and then move.
What if someone doesn't have 5 minutes or a yoga mat?
You don't need the yoga mat. Like I said, do it outside, right? So as long as you can have a grip, you don't even need the mat. And if you don't even have 5 minutes, do the mountain pose, do the Tadasana, do the seated version like we just did. Ground your feet, sit up tall, get your core active, your spine elongated, your chin is level, and just take a breath. Feet flat, spine tall, 1 breath. That is the practice if you don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to drop in the chat and let us know what poses do you think, okay, which of these 3 poses do you most need this week? Mountain, Warrior One, or Warrior Two? What about yourself, Mike? Which of those poses do you think you need most this week?
I like the war. I've always liked the warrior poses. So I was just like, because I'm like, I'd usually get out in a different studio situation and be doing them, right? But I'm sitting at a table in an RV, so I've always liked the warrior poses. So
Well,
I was almost sad I couldn't do them while I was sitting here listening to you read them off. So
after we're done, we're going to go to the watering hole that we're nearby, and maybe we'll do some warrior poses and ground before we get into that lake.
all right.
So that is it. Do the Tadasana. That is your base pose. It's standing tall, strong, and then Warrior One and Warrior Two.